How do you see the future of working with offenders around employment issues? Do you think there's real grounds for optimism?
I really believe there is grounds for optimism. And I say that because, as I say, I'm blessed that I can go and talk to any political party and politicians, people that are running this country, employers, the actual reformed offenders themselves. I think everyone is sick of the way our society is at the moment. And David Cameron's right, it is a broken society. And I think people, we've got over the thing where it's the blame game. We don't blame politicians, we can't blame the kids, we can't blame the police. Everyone's done that. It's boring. So it's now got to the stages, well, we've actually got to resolve this. And I think people in the community have realised, hold up a minute, you know, I blamed the politician, I blamed the police, I blamed it down to race, I blamed it down to all sorts of things, unemployment, all that, but we've actually got to do something about it. And I think the government's ready for it. What I like about it at the moment, there's a little bit of, well, this ain't worked out. And when you've got Ken Clarke actually admitting it's gone wrong, we've got to do something different, I think we're seeing a little bit of backbone coming out where people have gone, all right, if you like, we've done the puppet show and we've done the mirages and the smoke mirrors and that all worked for a little while, but now we're down to nitty gritty. We can't play magician's tricks anymore. We've actually got to come up with concrete stuff. And I think we've got a government who's willing to do it. I mean, Duncan Smith and people like that, you know, in Duncan Smith, that they are people that will recognise it and say, right, if we don't agree with it, we're not having it, and Cameron said that. But I think we've got to stay away from the newspaper bites and the sound bites and just say, now, let's sit down with people who know what they're doing and let's say, let's get on with this and let's solve it. But the main game is trade-based things, higher education. It's about looking at the debts that these people have got to get in. It's about touching reality now. And as a society, we've got to stop being prejudiced. We've got to stop discriminating against people. They did it in South Africa. When Nelson Mandela came into power, they had the healing process. I think we need the healing process here. And we've got to, the first thing we've got to do is stop exclusion, social exclusion, and discrimination. And the only way you do that is through legislation. We need investment in employers. I think a great incentive to employers would say for every disaffected kid you took off the street or every unemployed person you employed, there'd be some form of tax relief. That would give, because people don't do anything for nothing. Only people like us with charity minded, they all think we're mad anyway. I think if you showed some sort of tax relief for people that employed long-term unemployed, low tariff offenders, that sort of thing, I think that would be a great thing. And I'd think also it'd expand the economy, because if people thought, well, okay, I can employ more workforces and these people are working, because the more we get into work, the more we can take off in tax. It is not cost effective to have a dough addict, you know, and we've not just got one dough addict, we've got generations of dough addicts, and, you know, people see the dough now as a job. And what does that say about us as a society? You know, where people think, well, what are you going to do? Well, my dad's on the dole, my granddad was on the dole, so I'll get down, I'll do a bit of work on the side. No, we really need to look at it and think, you've got to be proud about work. And so what we've got to do, we've got to create work. Create work by saying to the employers, if you employ these certain people, you know, we'll give you a tax relief. And I think the employer goes, right, okay, I'll employ them. It's another one off the streets who can't riot. They're doing purposeful activity. We know where they are because they're working and they're actually paying their taxes. So they're not a burden on the taxpayer. They become a taxpayer. Now they've got a true investment in society. And when you've got an investment in society and you feel part of a society, you don't wreck society. It's when you feel you don't belong and you're excluded from it, it's them and us. And you think, I don't care about them. If they don't care about me, why should I care about them? That is the mentality. We've got to get rid of that mentality.
Bobby, thank you so much again for your time today. We really appreciate that. Unlock's open for business to support anybody that's working with offenders around any sorts of issues, but particularly employment, and there's links all over ESF-Works to that. I hope we can work together again in the future, and thank you very much again.
Well, as I say, it's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure, and, you know, we must always have hope, and we're going the right way. We're going the right way.